what shape a pop can is. It is a cylinder. Do you have a formula? Is a cylinder a single shape? Yes. Is there a formula for it?
Yes.
CDAB, Zaro. CDAB. Yes. So you get your formula from the sheet. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 yo. Again, you do not necessarily need it to be on the screen to have your workout and be working. This was already supposed to be done. And of course you fill it in. Do you know the R?
Yes.
You do, because you look at your sheet where you have done your homework. What is it? 5. Do you know the height? 20. So all you do is fill it in. 2 pi 5 squared, 2 pi 5, 20. Now, in previous years, of course, you would use 3.14 and you would give me a decimal answer. I don't want that anymore. Stop doing it. This, 5 squared is 25 times 2 is 50. 5 times 20 is 100 times 2 is 200. You have 50 pies and 200 pies, you get 250 pies. In math class, that's the right answer. In the real world, is that the right answer? No. Why? Josh. Exactly. If I was trying to buy the aluminum to make these pop cans, could I say, hey, aluminum seller, I need 250 pies worth of aluminum to make this pop can? Could you say that? No. So in the real world, you would find the decimal. But in math class, you can leave it like that. If you did want to find the decimal, again, 250 times the pi button equals. Some of you don't need to push times on your calculator. Some of you can go 250 pi button equals. But the answer is going to be somewhere around 780. I don't care what it is because I'm happy there. But if you are one of the people that cannot leave that like that, you have to have a decimal, then go ahead and get me the decimal. Derek.
Do you have an extra formula sheet?
I do. I keep extras because of those complicated instructions that I give. Everybody is good? All right. Now, I also asked you to do 30 to 32. If you are anything like my other class, we are going to come to a point on these questions where every single person has stopped. I know this because I've done this many, many, many years. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you for answers. You're going to give me answers. If there is more than one answer, we are going to discuss them. Got it? Excellent. That shape right there, is that one single shape? Yes. Is there a formula for it? Yes. So all you had to do was fill it in, right? But you don't even need the formula because you can do that one in your head. How many of those yellow squares are there? 6. So if you know that yellow square and you multiply by 6, do you have the surface area? Great. What is it? 150 meters squared. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Why is it meters squared when it is a 3-dimensional figure? Josh. Because it's area. And area is only 2 dimensions. Because this 3-dimensional figure is really just 6. Oops, that got a little big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 squares. Yes? All right. This one is where the first disagreement in surface area is going to be. Who would like to give me an answer to B? Remember, it may be wrong. I just want to hear your answers. What you got? Javon, Jovan, and then Javon. You both put your hands up. That hasn't happened before. That messed me up. Jovan, go. 192. Javon. 216. And they're all centimeters squared. Marcus. 146. Jacob. 136. Anybody else? All right. If you did it, you might have a different number. You may not want to say. You might not have done it at all. But let's talk. Oh, and that's 90 degrees. Did I tell you guys that? Yeah, I thought so. So there we go. All right. Is there anywhere on your sheet a formula for that? No, there isn't, is there? There is rectangular prism, but that is not a rectangular prism, is it? That's triangular prism. No formula for it. So if there's no formula for it, what do you have to do? Karen?
Work on the shape separately, so you work on the triangle.
Yep, you got to work each shape separately, yes? Okay, so does it matter where you start? No. If I started right there, how many of them are there? 2. So it would make this right here, wouldn't it? What shape does that make? Well, it's not quite a square, but a rectangle, yeah? So if I do 6 by 8, does that cover the front and the back? Great, 48. Okay. What about this one? What's that? It's the bottom of it. How big is it? 8 by 7 to get 56. What about the back of it? How big's that? Six by 7 to get 42, correct? And then the only rectangle I'm missing is this guy. That guy, we know what this is. It's 7. How do we find that? Pythagoras. Now I'm going to give you a present because I found out today that neither of my other 2 classes is aware of what I'm about to tell you. Without doing Pythagoras, how big is that hypotenuse? No Pythagoras allowed. Interesting that you guys don't know that. It is 5. 3, 4, 5 triangle. 9 plus 16 is 25. Square root of 25 is 5. What does that mean if I told you this was 6 and this was 8? How big is that? 10. Why? Because everything's doubled. What if I told you this was 9 and 12? 15. What if I told you this was 36 and 48? 60. That's your birthday present. The 3, 4, 5 triangle. Happy birthday. You can use it for the rest of your life. It's not like something like a chocolate bar or something you just eat. And I had birthday kids in every one of my classes today. Yeah, I know, it's weird. So I was able to give birthday presents to lots of people today. Anyway, so of course that is what? 10, which is 70. And then what do you do with all those? You add them up, and you get 216. Nice job, Javon. Now, if you didn't get 216, you need to look at what you did. Now, if you showed no work, do you know where you went wrong? Do you? No, you don't. Do I know where you went wrong if you showed no work? No. Can I therefore help you if you showed no work? No. Everybody with me? Derek. How long's that? How long's that? And this was a 90 degree, right? Well, how do you find the third side of a 90 degree triangle? You do Pythagoras. 6 squared is 36. 8 squared is 64. 36 plus 64 is 100. And then you square root that to get the hypotenuse. Right? Excellent. I have warned you guys of this, and I will warn you again. If you have learned it in a math class before this second, you need it from this second on. Does everybody get that? You cannot have let any part of math go from kindergarten to grade 9, because it is all going to be used in every single unit on almost every single question in all of grade 10, all of grade 11, and all of grade 12 math if you choose to do it. I know you could forget stuff in the past, but that is no longer the case. Everybody cool? Unfortunately for me, not only do I have to get you through all of grade 10, 99 days out of 100, I got to review grade 2 to 9 as well. Right? Does that guy have a formula? That guy's on the sheet, right? 2WL, HL, WH. Does that order matter? No, as long as each letter appears twice and they don't double up with each other, correct? And you're going to put those numbers in, right? Who names L, W, and H? You name them. If you cannot get your mind around it, then you go to your sheet and it shows, if I am not mistaken, this as W, this as L, and this as H, I think. But does it matter? No, why not? Because it's the same. 5 times 2 is the same as 2 times 5, right? So all you would do is you would put in your numbers, and what do you get for an answer there? 192, which is correct, centimeters squared. Now we start getting into trouble, because here you have all kinds of options. Is that a shape that is on your formula sheet? No. In the 9th grade, some of you were taught how to deal with these. They were called composite shapes. A bunch of you would have been taught this move. Cut it in half. Find the surface area of figure 1. Find the surface area of figure 2. Add them. Surface area 1 plus surface area 2, and subtract 2 overlaps. How many of you have seen that? Will that work? Of course it will. You would run the bottom one, the blue one, through this formula, yes? Then you would run the red one through that formula. Then you would subtract this times 2. Agreed? Because that particular bit is not visible on either the top or the bottom. Everybody good? Okay. That is about the easiest way you can do that question. And you're welcome to do that. I submit there are other ways that you may wish to go about doing these. And I would like to show you 1 or 2 of them just to be safe. The first one is the even easier way. Could you add up every different shape on here? Could you add all that up? Is that perfectly legitimate? It's just length times width, 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 and add it all up. Would you get it wrong if you did that? No, it would just take a little bit of time, right? Okay, let me submit this to you. Could you tell me the surface area of that? You could use the formula for that, couldn't you? it would be 2WL plus LH plus HW, right? And that would give you this whole top, wouldn't it? Then, didn't you only add that? How many times? I added that twice, and then I added that how many times? Twice. So if you did all that, that would cover the bottom, and then you added those. Does everybody see that? Do I care which way you do these? No. That is why this is difficult for you people. Because no longer do we say this is the way to do it. Because some of you see what I just did. You saw that this roof here was part of this whole prism, and I just lifted it up and created these 4 new surfaces. Some of you cannot see that. No matter how many times I explain it to you, you cannot wrap your mind around that. That's okay, because there are other ways to do the question. Who decides how to do the question? You do. With which method? The one that works for whom? You. Everybody got it? Now, is there anybody that would like to give me that answer, or would you like a moment to reassess your work and attempt to see it? Reassess? 3 minutes, go. If you have this one done, then you should also have E, F, G, H, and the painting the room one done. If you didn't do it, use this time to finish them up. Go. Was wrong. I made an error. Tiana and Simran and Yuting and Jovan and Amrit and I didn't think so. We're all correct. See? Responsibility. Well, now it's on YouTube. It's got to be true, right? The earth is flat. There you go. All true. It's actually a donut. Not true. Karen.
I did it the way where I times by 2 and I got 324.
Okay, so somewhere something's up with yours. Okay? And if you showed me all your work, I could easily find it for you. Like if it were a test, I would circle it. I would write, here is your mistake because blah. Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to give everybody 5 minutes on this question, but I'm going to give you some warnings. 1, let's all agree right now, what part of the room are we going to paint? We're only going to paint the walls? We're not going to paint the ceiling? Because it matters. Okay, we agree. We're not going to paint the ceiling? Ceiling's for tall people, yeah? Micah can paint all of our ceilings. The rest of us are just going to, wait, right? Okay, so we're only painting the walls. Point 1, you are only painting walls, right? Which means you are painting how many rectangles? 4. Are they all the same? No. How many of them are the same? 2 and 2. So you've got 2 rectangles and 2 more rectangles, yes? Go. 5 minutes. Yes. You can sit with anybody you want. We've talked about it now. You shouldn't. But I'm going to warn you about something. When you're ready to buy paint, read the question carefully. Or you will find yourself going, fiddle-dee-dee, at the end of it all. Go. Everyone agrees with that? Okay. The blue wall is how wide along the floor? 4.1. No problem with that. What about this guy? 5.3. Everybody cool? All right. So now, how would you find this area? 3 by 4.1 by what? By 2, because there's 2 of them. Just one sec. You're giving me away. What's this one? 3 by 5.3 by 2, which gives you something like, when you add it together, you get 56.4 meters squared. Yes? Now, what do you know about the paint? It covers square feet. I know square meters, yes? So obviously I have to convert meters to feet, don't I? Now, meters to feet is I multiply by, I want feet, I've got meters, so it must be 1 over 0.3048, correct? All right, now stop for a second. Keep that in your head. That is 1 foot. Everyone agree? So how many meters is that red line? 0.3048 meters, isn't it? Does everyone agree? Okay. That is 1 foot. Does everyone agree? Okay. So how many meters is that up and down? 0.3048. How many square feet are in that red square right now? How many square feet is that red square? 1, because it's 1 times 1 is 1 foot squared, isn't it? How many square meters is it? How do you find area? 0.3048 times 0.3048. So what is that in square meters? 0.093 meters squared. Why? This conversion is for one dimension, a line. We needed squared, so I can't do 0.3048 there, can I? I must do 0.3048 squared. Everybody understand? Now, there's 2 ways to think about it. You could think about it that way, what I've drawn right here, or you could think about it this way. Since this is length times width, right? I need to convert one dimension and then a second dimension. Agreed? So I could convert this once and then a second time to cover both dimensions. Now please notice, isn't times 0.3048 times 0.3048 the same as times 0.3048 squared? And isn't that the same as 0.093? Everybody with me? So again, you all knew how to convert. You all knew how to find areas. Where did you make your mistake? You fell into a path, a routine, not thinking about what you were doing, yes? You all know areas got 2 dimensions. You all also knew that this was for a straight line. But you have to put it together. Everybody understand that? Yeah. So that will change everybody's answers. Whichever way you do this, 56.4, I'm just going to do 1 over 0.093. Is everybody cool with that? That's the 0.3048 squared. Everyone is good? That gets you 606.45 feet squared. Now, what do you got to do now?
Convert it into gallons.
No, I don't need to convert it to gallon. 1 gallon covers 300 feet. So what do I have to do with this? Divide by 300, which gives you something like 2.03, right? In math class, what's the answer to the nearest gallon? 2. In reality, how many gallons must I buy? 3, because I have to buy that 3rd gallon, or I'm going to leave a corner of my room unpainted. Everybody understand? Math class, nearest gallon. In math, nearest gallon, 2 gallons. In reality, gotta buy that 3rd gallon. And then I'm left with a tin of paint in the garage. I guarantee if your house has a garage and you have painted any part of your house in recent memory, go into the garage, look in the back corner, and what will you find? A bunch of half-full paint tins. I guarantee it. Any of you that live in a house, not an apartment, even if you live in an apartment and you have a storage room underneath it, or a parking spot under there, look behind the car. There's empty paint cans there if you have painted any part of your house in the last 2-3 years. Guaranteed. I have some. And then your idiot son walks into the house with like his hockey stick or something, takes a chunk out of the wall, and you say, that's cool, I got paint to fix that. And then you go down to your garage, the paint's 3 years old, and you shake it up and you paint it on the wall, it doesn't look right. Then you got to go out and buy another gallon of paint to fix the fix of the fix. And then you make your son pay for it.
I had to pay for my dog's vet bills, which are whack. And they're
Why?
so expensive.
Why did you have to pay for your dog's vet bills? Did you do something dumb?
Strict dad and mom.
Did you do something dumb?
No, yeah, the dog, they don't like, so.
So you pulled that, yeah, I read you.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
$500. Like,
Dog
oh,
bill,
gosh,
vet
dude.
bills are crazy.
Man's just suck it up.
Can I give you a piece of advice?
Okay.
Can I give you a piece of advice?
Yeah.
Take your dog to America.
Yeah.
Vet bills are way cheaper in the States. Way
I'm gonna get my
cheaper.
dog's ears cropped there.
Ugh.
My next dog.
Not even, I can't talk to you.
Can't get them.
Yeah, I know you can't get him here because it's cruel.
Just sew their ears so they're
Oh my
permanently real. Wrong with you? What do you mean? Okay, German Shepherds are like naturally, but I'm deaf. Like if you have a like a Great Dane.
Do you really think you're gonna win? You're gonna change my mind? You're gonna change my mind? Yeah. Well, why haven't you gotten plastic surgery to look like Ryan Reynolds?
I don't know. I should, right?
No, you shouldn't.
But there's also a new technique where they like just cut the excess ear off.
Oh, excess here, yeah.
Like,
No problem.
With like legit, like they just
Oh yeah.
knife it.
I think it's a really good idea to give unnecessary surgery to everybody.
It looks so much better.
Oh yeah, looks are so important.
They are.
How's your dog gonna date if he isn't good looking?
Right?
It's a dog, dude.
No. It's so ugly.
You're not changing my mind.
They don't have cropped ears.
I think what's ugly is cropped ears.
Nah.
Same thing with the tail too. All right, moving along.
No, my dog is a German Shepherd. He's automatic.
All right. Of course I was. I'm not scared of anything. Yep. Okay. You can stay where you are. You don't need to move. I don't care. I'm in a great mood today. Let's talk about volume. Because we're moving on to page 33.
Oh, Danielle.
Surface area is what part of a figure?
Outside.
The outside. Excellent. And surface area has how many dimensions? Why? Yeah, because every three-dimensional figure that we have studied, all prisms and pyramids, can be broken down into regular shapes, yes? And all those shapes have 2 dimensions, don't they?
Yes.
A length and a width, base and a height, whatever you want to call it, right? So the surface area of this is all this black rectangle plus that circle and that circle. Agreed?
Yeah.
Right? And since I could peel off this black and make a nice flat black thing, you can understand that it's 2 dimensions, yes? Okay. What's the volume? The volume has 3 dimensions. Because if I fill this thing up with liquid, it fills up this way, and this way, doesn't it? 3 dimensions. So volume is 3. Now, let me ask you this. How many dimensions does this piece of paper have?
2. 3. Yes, 3. Sorry.
Which is it? It's 3, because it's got a length, a width, and a depth, yes? Now, do any of you have a measuring device upon you right now? No. In your hands right now. No, you do not. So you could not measure this piece of paper, could you? Some of you know how big this piece of paper is. You know that it's 8.5 inches by 11. But let's pretend you didn't. As a matter of fact, I can make this even better.
Didn't know that measurement was that much. So thanks for the information.
Damn it. Huh?
You know, you could just fold it and like lick
I hate that sound. Could you give me an accurate measurement of this right now? No, because you're not carrying a measuring device, yes? But if I were to ask you to describe in the universe how much space is this thing taking up, what would you say? No, it is taking up space. You can see it. It's here. So how much space is it taking up? Because you can't measure it. So what would you say this is? What is this? What is it? No. What is it? What is this? Thank you. It is a piece of paper. Excellent. So, how much space in the universe is it taking up? One piece of paper. Agreed? Excellent. Everybody with me? Okay. Now, how could you, if I were to ask you to measure this thickness with what is available to you from my desk, and you can have a look if you need to, how could you accurately measure the thickness of this piece of paper? I'll give you 2 minutes to think about it. Go. Go, Martin. 2 minutes. Everybody gets 2 minutes. Unless you're going to the washroom or something. I'm going to shorten it to 1 minute because half the people I hear talking aren't talking about the paper problem. So, if you need the washroom, yeah, go. Huh. All right, that'll do. Who has an idea for how they could tell me how thick this piece of paper is? Karen's group, go.
Maybe you could fold it.
Fold it? How?
You want. Like,
Half?
Doesn't matter. Just make it thick.
Okay, fold.
And
There.
Then measure it by not like that.
Okay, so a bunch of times, okay.
No, in half.
Oh, in half. Okay.
In half.
In half.
Several
Several
times.
times.
Until you have like a thickness you want, and then you have to count as many times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now I'd have to divide it by what?
That's one.
I would divide it by 1?
No, by 2.
Okay, by 2, then what?
Confusing. Wait. No.
By 4. Why is it by 4?
Because the two folded into
The 2 doubles. Now what?
6.
6?
2, 4, 6. Isn't it?
9.
I'm so confused.
It's 8. Why is it 8? Because the 4 doubles. Then what?
And then 6.
Then what?
And then 24.
32. Then what? 64. And then you can't actually go further.
Yeah, and then
Because now this is 64 layers thick.
yeah, so you just like measure that with a ruler, and then you divide it by as many times as you want.
By 64? Okay. Is that fair? All right. Can anybody think of another way you could do it? I'll tell you, she's got the right idea, but there's a lot easier way. Marcus. There you go, Marcus. What's that? Piece of paper. What's that? Stack of paper. What shape did those number of rectangles, when I repeated it, make? A rectangle. Rectangular what? Prism. So all a rectangular prism is this rectangle multiplied that many times, correct? This is 8 inches. I'm just going to use 8 because it's easier. 8, and this is 11. What is the area you see in this rectangle right now? 88, yes? So this is 88 inches squared, yes? Now what if I stacked it to 3/4 of an inch tall. I take that 88 and I multiply it by 3/4, and now I know how many inches this has in the universe. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
How did I build this prism? I started with a 2D shape and I repeated it. What do I call, what is the proper name of the 2D shape from which I start? Don't say rectangle, because this 2D shape is a circle. What is the proper name given to the two-dimensional shape that starts a prism or a pyramid? A base. Does the base need to be on the bottom? No. Is this still the base?
Yes.
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 If I stand on my head but hold this way, is this still the base?
Yes.
If I float into space, go to Jupiter, is this still the base?
Yes.
Excellent. Does it have to be on the bottom? No. Everybody good? Then that base repeats, doesn't it? What is the proper name given to the direction that the base repeats? Marcus? Height. Absolutely correct. Is this the height?
Yes.
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 On Jupiter, is this the height?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because it's always going to be
Because it's
from.
Because it's always 90 degrees away from the base. Excellent. So you already know that if I start with, in a prism, volume of a prism equals the starting shape, the area of the base, which is, of course, the starting shape. And what does that area of the base multiply by? The height. We call it the height simply because it's a 90-degree line from the base. Is it necessarily the height? No. What is it? It's the direction in which the base repeats. Then, does it matter what's top and bottom? No, as long as you know the direction that it repeats. Everybody cool? So if it were a cylinder, what is the base shape? It's a circle. So you would find the area of the circle and multiply by the height. If it was a prism, you would find the area of the base shape, which is rectangular square, so length times width, by what? The direction that it repeats, up. What if I turn it this way? Could I make this the base? Down. Everybody cool? What if I told you it was a non-nagonal pyramid? Man, none of you even know what a nonagon is, do you? A nonagon is a 9-sided figure. Could I take a 9-sided figure and pretend that actually has 9 sides and repeat it? And if you could find the area of that nonagon, how would you tell me the volume of that non-nagonal prism?
You take the base and
You would take that area of the nonagon and multiply by what?
the direction.
The direction it repeats, which on a piece of paper is usually diagonal. Everybody cool? Does shape matter? No. As long as you can find the area of the shape you start with in any way and multiply by the height, you're cool. Everybody agree? Okay. And you agree that that works for all prisms, yes? Great. Tell me what you now know must be true about pyramids. Are pyramids related to prisms?
No. Yes.
It's a yes or no question. Micah, you can't just go yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Pick an answer. Stick with it, brother.
No.
Yes, they are.
That's 20 yeses to your no. Are you willing to, or do you want to change your vote?
No, I'm sticking with no.
You're sticking with no.
Yes.
Gonna give you a third chance.
Fine, I'll go with the yes.
Hey, Micah, you got it right. Nice. How are they related? Jacob. They all start from a 2D base that repeats, yes? What's the difference? the 2D shape shrinks in a pyramid, doesn't it? So does a pyramid take up more or less space than its prism cousin? Less. Exactly. Now I'm going to tell you this. The volume of a pyramid is the prism divided by 3. So, what's the volume of the prism? Area of the base times the height divided by 3. Which word? Direction in which the base repeats. The pyramid. Volume of a pyramid. Is everybody cool? Yeah? All right, now listen to me, because class is over in 15 minutes. I lie, 9 minutes. 4 minutes. I don't care. It's over soon. Listen to me. You are going to go back to page 27. Just listen to me before you all go crazy. On page 27, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 questions that were all surface area. What's your job now? Volume of 27 to 29, and that's 4 questions, and I want you to try the volume of D on page 30 and the volume of F on 31. So I'm asking you to do 6 questions for homework, and I'm giving you permanent minutes right now, plus overnight. Everybody good?
You're gonna get